there is always an expanded version of you that when you step into, everything in your life changes. Because ultimately, we don't get what we want. We get who we are. And when we become our higher self, we start bringing in the equivalent of where our higher self is vibrating, which is at such high levels of consciousness, you can imagine what's going to start coming into your life when you shift from where you are now into that next best version of you, into your higher self. So in this video, I'm going to be going over how you can do this and what it's going to look like. What are some of the signs that you're going to see when you're doing it effectively so you know you're on the right path? Now, I have a few different things to share with you, but I really encourage you to stay to the end because I have a little bonus thing for you as well that's going to take this to the next level after you've gone through the steps I give here. So let's jump into it. Now, sign number one that you're becoming more of your higher self. I'm going to start with the more obvious one and give some of the symptoms of it because we just want to make sure we cover this, is you are not only noticing that you have more connection with your intuition, but you're following it much more often. You see, your next best version of you, your higher self, is more intuitive than heady. It uses the mind as a tool, absolutely, but it navigates with the intuition, with the heart. It is much more heart heavy, or at least more kind of relying on the heart than it is the head. And when you notice that you're getting intuitive downloads and intuitive hits because you are being that higher expanded self more often, you know that you are connecting to this more. You know that things are going to start shifting if you keep moving down this pathway. But you have to be honest about whether this is really happening. Are you following your intuition? Are you actually having those downloads come through? Again, your mind may try and trick you into believing that it's the intuition. But the intuition, it's very easy to tell. It'll come with a yes or a no, a red light or green light. It won't justify anything, and it also won't give you 2, 3, 4, 5 moves ahead. Your intuition will give you the best next move. It will not give you a full plan or a blueprint or a roadmap. It will give you what is the best next move in your journey down your higher self, down the pathway of the higher self. And so if you notice, if you are seeing that I am actually bringing in so much more through my intuition is switched on. I'm doing the inner work that allows these things to come through. Things are coming out. These ideas are coming through from left field. I know it's not my mind coming up with them. Just something out of nowhere is like, hey, you should go do this thing. You should go to that place. You should talk to this person, whatever else it is. And you're following through on those things. There's so much that's going to start unfolding if you keep that momentum going. Now, sign number 2 is a big one. And this is kind of a natural follow-up to the first one. So once you're getting that intuition coming through more, you're more connected to that, and most importantly, you're taking action on that, this one usually follows. And certain things in your life, certain of the things you may have once done, even people, and just, many different things in your life naturally start to fall off. And you may even find that you kind of wake up a few months from now and go, wow, I don't do that anymore. Wow, I haven't talked to that person in a while, because you weren't even thinking about it. Because our mind, when we're in the mind a lot, will constantly have us attached to different things. So that person, I got to message that person, got to do this thing. I go to these events even though I don't really like going to them, or whatever else it is. I watch these things because it's an addiction that I haven't worked through. But when you're following the higher self, when you're following the intuition to the best next move to the best next move, which means you're not thinking all these moves ahead or what you have to keep together, which you actually don't have to keep together truly, things start falling off naturally to the point where you may have even forgotten some of the things that you were supposed to hold on to, and then you realize, oh, nothing happened by letting that go. Actually, it's been a very good thing. And so you may find certain things are naturally starting to fall off. Now, some people have trouble with this because they start holding on to things and thinking that, I need to keep this thing in my life. But ultimately, if you're following your heart, you're following your intuition, you're moving into your higher self, and through doing that and resonating at that level, certain things start falling off. Doesn't it kind of make sense that they're meant to fall off because they're no longer serving you in this new vibration, in this new place that you're in, right? And so allow these things to fall off. And that's a whole different thing. And yes, that takes a bit of practice. But if you're noticing, wow, I woke up and I've been following my higher self and all this stuff's been changing, I didn't even notice that fell off, but yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. This one behavior I'm not doing anymore. Or this person, I'm not talking to them anymore. I'm not drawn to doing it. When you follow your heart, you get drawn to certain things, and you'll start noticing that you're not drawn to other things. And my invitation would be to just allow those other things to fall off naturally and gracefully, and that it's okay. Now, sign number 3 is that you notice you are much more calm and peaceful in general, and you're less reactive. One of the just common traits of someone who is not accessing their intuition, or someone who's operating at, let's say, the lower levels of consciousness, and if this is you, it's also okay. You know, if that's where you're at, honor that, and you can start working on the things that help you to grow from there. Because just as a caveat, we need to know where we are before we can get to where we want to go, to become who we need to become, right? So if you're reactive, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not right or wrong. It's not something to feel guilty about. In the same way, if you're in first grade in what is that, elementary school, should you feel guilty about not being in 6th grade? No, there's nothing better or worse between the two. They're just in 2 different stages in their journey, of which neither is more valuable than the other. The most valuable place to be in your journey is wherever you are in your journey, and then to use these new awarenesses to continue to grow and improve and progress. So if you are reactive, don't worry. But one of the things you'll start to notice as you're growing, as you're accessing your intuition, is you don't react to everything happening in the outside world because you're not focused on it. You're just focusing on that best next thing, on the downloads coming through from beyond the physical, from the non-physical, right? And so you're no longer reactive. Now, you may react every now and then, but you're not a reactive person if you get angry for 3 seconds once during the day, right? You're a reactive person if, like, oh, this happened, oh, then this happened, oh, and then you just go through your day reactive. And this is how a lot of people are. Now, I just want to say one thing. Reactive doesn't just mean anger. Reactive also means, do you react to situations and then feel guilty? Do you react to situations and then feel apathetic? Like, you know what? I don't even care. But not from like a positive I don't care, as in I've released attachment, but from a, you know what, I don't want to deal with this, so I'm going to become apathetic towards it. That is also reactionary, right? So I know reactionary kind of comes with this idea that it's got to be anger or something where we lash out or whatever. That's how I lash out. That's a very weird way of lashing. Can you imagine if someone angers me and I'm like, oh, it's not, that's probably not the best way to demonstrate that. But anyway, so think of a reactionary as being anything less than calm and kind of grounded when something happens, or not being able to quickly get calm and grounded. So if you feel guilty or angry or frustrated or any of those things very often, you're usually reacting to something you're allowing to lower your consciousness. But as you start to move more into your higher self, as you start to move naturally into what you are more, you notice that you're more calm and peaceful because you're grounded more in your higher self and what you are. And sign number 4 is you find that you're taking more purposeful action, that you're, again, from that intuition, taking action, and you're even getting excited and energized about it, because don't get it twisted. Your higher self has a mission. Your higher self has a purpose. Your soul came here for a reason. It wasn't redundant. Your soul came here to fulfill something. Now, whether you do that or not is up to you and your free will. But absolutely, when you tune into your heart, you will be led in a certain direction that's going to feel passionate and amazing. That doesn't mean you'll feel passionate and amazing all the time, because you're going to have to let go of some things. Again, if you're reactionary, you might let the outer world determine your mood, and you'll have to learn how to move through that. But the masters of this game, who are so tuned into their higher self, even when these relatively big problems, it seems, come up, they always handle it with very good poise, calm, elegance, high energy, gratitude. Why? Because they know the game. They know not to react to anything happening on the outside, that it's just, kind of a graceful opportunity, an amazing opportunity of growth, right? And so ultimately, understanding that your higher self has a purpose, has a mission. And when you start taking more purposeful action, and all this other stuff that's a distraction starts falling away, that's when you know you're really becoming your higher self. In fact, you're practically there. Because when you get to it's just your own purpose, you're on your mission, it feels so good. You know what your heart-based direction is. You know what your soul mission is right now in this moment. It might change in 7 years. It might change next month, but you know in this moment, the eternal moment of now, the only moment there actually ever is, that in your heart, it is fueled to move in this particular direction, and you're doing that time and time again, and it's becoming more natural, it's becoming easier because you're doing the inner work, well, you know that you are connecting very powerfully to your higher self. Now, I kind of mentioned there that masters, they really have this ability to that no matter what's happening, like there's bends in the river in their life, or there's so-called challenges or problems coming in their life, they're able to stay calm and peaceful and masterfully navigate and even celebrate the so-called negative in their life. How would you like to have that ability? Sounds pretty amazing, doesn't it? Well, in this video right here, which I'm going over next, this is the bonus I want to give you. I dive deep into not only why this is so powerful and so impactful to be able to do, but also on how to do it. When you celebrate the bends in life, you become a master of the game of life. So I'd go check that out next.